Over the past few months, ChatGPT has changed. They have launched a tremendous amount of new features, and the way we use ChatGPT, let's say 12 months ago, is not the way you would use it now. In this video, I'm going to give you a crash course on how to set ChatGPT up properly. We're then going to explore every feature, and I'm going to give you some expert tips along the way. Hello, my name is Marty Englander from brainyautomations.com, where I teach people how to automate content creation using no-code solutions. In other words, you don't need to know code or programming to create automation for your business or your general tasks. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them below. I tend to reply within a few minutes to a couple of hours, and if you could tap the like button, that would be hugely appreciated. We are now inside ChatGPT, and what you see here is the main dashboard. On the left, you have your sidebar. This is where you can create new chats, and it will also display all of your previous chats one by one. You can also access your account details, which we'll get into shortly. On the top, you have your different language models. If you are a free user, you will only have access to GPT 3.5, but if you're a Plus member, which I highly recommend, you'll have access to GPT-4, which is considerably better in the quality of outputs. You'll be able to access real-time data, which will be fantastic for essay writing and collating the news on a day-to-day basis. And then the brand new DALL-E 3 image generator, which is absolutely incredible for generating images. We will explore all of these options as well as the additional options you can activate later on in the video. Near the bottom of the page, random prompts displaying, and this is to give you some inspiration or ideas of what ChatGPT is capable of. And then below that we have the input field, and this is where we would write our prompts to get answers for things. Let's give this a quick whirl. We're going to click on one of the ideas, and in the blink of an eye, it gives us an exact answer. On the right of the answer, you'll see you have 3 icons. The first icon will copy this to your clippad so you can paste it into your documents. The second icon is the thumbs up, which is telling ChatGPT that this is a good answer. And the third icon is the thumbs down, which is telling ChatGPT this is a bad answer. In other words, these 2 icons is helping train on what sort of answers you like and what you don't. If the initial answer isn't something that you liked, you can click regenerate and it will recreate the answer for you. You will also be able to toggle between the first answer and the second answer and every answer that you regenerate, and then it will give you, was this answer better, worse, or the same? You don't need to click on these, it just depends if you want to help train the AI. On the bottom right of the screen, you'll see a little question icon, and that will take you to help and FAQs, terms and policies, and keyboard shortcuts. On the top right of the screen, you'll see a share chat icon. This will let you share the entire chat history with other people. You would copy link, open up another tab, and paste the link in. And now they'll have access to this entire chat history, and they can even continue the conversation and ultimately use it like a template. This is a great opportunity to sell templates. We'll go ahead and open the sidebar and click on new chat, and this will create a new chat. Now if we move over to GPT-4, we want to unlock all of the other add-ons that ChatGPT allows us. So we'll head over to our account section and click on settings and beta. General, we can change the theme to dark or light. We can clear all of our chats, so make sure you're careful in this area. By clicking on beta features, this will allow us to enable the plugins and advanced data analysis, which we'll get into shortly, but we'll go ahead and toggle both of these on. Under data controls, this is where we can save our chat history so ChatGPT can use our prompts and our outputs to train the system better, where we can manage all of our shared links. We can even delete them if we no longer want to share them. We can also export our data and delete our account. Now that we've toggled the additional add-ons, we're going to hover over GPT-4, and now it's gone from 3 add-ons to 5. Before we move on to the basics of prompt engineering, let me show you the differences between all 5. So when we select default, let's say we wanted to do something like what the trending news for today is. Now this version of GPT-4 does not have access to real-time data. So if we go to open sidebar, new chat, and then change this to browse with Bing, and we ask it the same question, you can see it's browsing on Bing what the trending news today is. It's actually going into websites and news sources and collating the information for us. It's now finished browsing and it's summarizing each trending news that's relevant today. What you'll also see is at the end of each item, it will have a little link showing you where it found the news from. If you want to stop it from generating text, click stop generating. You can also scroll up and hover over your prompt, and then you can click on the pencil icon and actually adjust the prompt and then save and submit. This will remove the output for that prompt and treat it like a new prompt entirely. Moving back to the default option, I want to show you one of the newer features, which is the image visualizer. This is a feature that can save you a ton of time, money, and stress in everyday life. We're going to click on the attach images and I'm going to select this image here. The image is just a simple image of a maths quiz. A lot of people forget about BODMAS, so it's a bit of a trick question. But the answer to this is 35, because we do 5 times 5, which is 25, plus 5, 30, and then 35. However, a lot of people will do 5 plus 5, which is 10, times 5, 50, plus 5, which is 55. So the correct answer is B, but a lot of people forget about BODMAS and will choose A. Let's see what ChatGPT will do. I'm going to attach the image and say, what is the answer to this math problem? The image has now been uploaded, and now it's giving us a detailed answer to the different potential answers. But what's incredible here is the fact that it's understanding what's in the image to the point where it's even solving it for us. How incredible is that? For the next example, we're going to pretend we don't know what sort of screws these are. We know that these are flathead Phillips wood screws, but let's see if ChatGPT can figure that out. We're going to attach an image, upload it, and say simply, what are these? I don't want to give it any clues that they're screws, so let's see how clever this actually is. It's now generating the answer, and it says these are Phillips head screws. Let's take it one step further and say, what size screws are they? I guess it can't do everything. However, it's good to know that if we want sizing, we need to put something else in the image to give it a little bit more guidance. We're now going to do one more example, and this is a bike chain, and we're going to ask it how we can fix it. We'll go ahead and upload it. It's now uploaded, and I'm going to ask it, how do I fix the chain? What you'll notice here is it's smart enough to detect that this was a bike chain. It says bicycle chain. I didn't tell it what it was. It managed to figure it out. And now it's giving me step-by-step instructions on how to do it. So it's telling me to gather the necessary tools. And just like that, it's given us each step with a detailed answer on how to fix it. Let's move on to another chat. And this time we're going to do browse with Bing. So I've given you a slight example with the trending news sources, but what else can we do with Bing? We can say things like, is there any traffic on the M25? For those of you who might not live in England, the M25 is a motorway. We'll do enter. And now it's given us all the information that we need to know on whether or not we should be going on the M25 right now. And ultimately, this is how you would use the Bing search. You can add URLs in, ask it direct questions, and get live data. Moving on to advanced data analysis, here I have an Excel document that lists some dummy data like names of products, prices, and how many units. We can upload this file and we can ask it what is the most expensive item in the document. It's now telling us that it's going to be analysing the document. It's recognised that I want to know the most expensive item, so the most related column is price, so it's found the product called Hyperdrift Hoverboard, which is $299. We can then say something like, based on units sold and price, which product is most profitable. It's now telling us how we can find this information by calculating the total profit for each item, which it's doing it for us. And once again, it's still the Hyperdrift Hoverboard, because out of the units that sold for it, it's generated the most revenue according to the price. Whilst this is a very simple example, you can upload legal documents, Excel documents, any sort of document, and you can ask it questions and it will give you the answers that you want based on the data inside those documents. Moving on to plugins. Once enabled, you'll see this little pop up here. Click it and then locate the plugin store. The plugin store can be filtered by popular, new, all, and installed. Plugins are basically little add-ons that you can install into your ChatGPT, which will connect to third-party websites to unlock certain functionality. And all you need to do to install one is click the install button. If I click on installed, these are some of the plugins that I have. Let's say I wanted to use the plugin Scraper. So once I've installed it, I would exit out of it, click on this drop down again, and then I'll locate the plugin. And here's Scraper. If we head over to a website, let's say brainyautomations.com, we have lots of items on the page. Let's say I want to scrape all of the headings on the page. So I'll take the URL, go to send message and type in scrape all the headings from, and then paste in the URL. It's now telling us what it's doing every step of the way. If we open it up, this is what a normal developer would need to do if we didn't have access to ChatGPT. And now we have all of the headings just like that. But we can take this one step further and incorporate this into our general tasks. Let's say we wanted to improve these headings. We can type something on the lines of improve each heading by making them more exciting. Now that it's made them more fun, what if we wanted to translate them into another language? But I'll also do something else and say translate each heading to French and add a relevant emoji. And now it's doing just that. I don't speak different languages, so you'd have to double check whether or not these are accurate, but from past experience, they usually are. Moving on to perhaps my most favorite feature at the moment, DALL-E 3. DALL-E 3 will generate images. So I'll say something quite imaginative like create an image of a cool rock cat dressed as Elvis playing the guitar with backup dog singers in the background. And do enter. It's now creating the images for us. Just so you know, this is a little slow and can sometimes take anywhere from 20 seconds to 1 minute. I'm sure they'll make it faster as they develop this, but for the quality that we get, it's well worth the wait. Okay, and now we have the 4 images, which is ultimately exactly what we asked for. We can click on the images and download each one by clicking the download button and opening it up. We can copy the prompt or close the sidebar. And if you don't like them, you can always regenerate them. Now there's one last thing that I want to cover, which is custom instructions. I'll go ahead and create a new chat. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to say, tell me about brainy automations. So as you can see, this response isn't particularly great. And the reason it's not great is it doesn't know what brainy automations is. It doesn't even know how we want it to communicate with us. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to open sidebar, click on our account and click custom instructions. It's now divided into 2 input fields, which give you a 1500 word limit. The first input is what ChatGPT should know about you. Could be that you're a logical thinker or you're someone who's quite creative. Perhaps your vocabulary isn't great, or you just like things really simple, so you want it to talk to you more like a child than an adult. You can also give it other information like information about your business, pricing, terms, what the business actually does, and general stuff like that. In the second input field, this is where you tell ChatGPT how you want it to respond. Perhaps you want things only written in listicles, or you want to have it give you an example every time you ask it something. We're going to enable the new chat by toggling this, and I've just entered some simple information. So I've said my business is called Brainy Automations. The website is this link, and then here's some information about my business. And then in the second input field, I'm telling it to respond in authoritative but kind, simplify words and understandings as if I'm talking to a logical teen. I'm not really a big fan of formal communication or informal. I prefer the in between the two. And then because I do a lot of blog creation and articles and I'm using DALL-E 3 a lot, I want it to give me an image prompt for what I've asked it every single time I input something. And then I want it to format like this. Go ahead and save. And now in a new chat, I'm going to change the plugins to default, paste in the prompt and do enter. And now you see It's telling me all about Brainy automations, and it's even giving me an image prompt to describe this. You can get it to respond to you any way you want just by adding in those custom instructions. I do hope you enjoyed today's training. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.